Hey Jonesy Babes and Anonymous Jonesy Babes. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about Jarvis, but we have some updates and some other stuff that's going around, with social media, content creators, and, just stuff, okay? Just stuff. All right, so Kiwana, she had a balloon release at a park. She had some pink balloons that she released for Nasiah, right? And she said she wanted people to upload pictures or videos of them releasing balloons for Nasiah Harris, which I thought was okay. I think that's kind of cool. There are so many people inside of Michigan, outside of Michigan, even in different countries that know about Nasiah Harris' case, cares about her. And that's a blessing. Because this type of stuff don't always happen to kids that are missing and they find out, the call was coming from inside the house, basically. All right. And so she's blessed that she has so many people that love and care about her. Some people, they could actually relate to her story. And it's a shame that she's not here anymore. She just turned 15, September 16th. She's not here to tell her story. Okay? She didn't even get a chance to live life. And it's just sad. Look how Vari turned out. It's just sad. But I'm not surprised because when you have a grandparent and aunties that don't really care about you, you live in the household and things are happening to you, they don't care. Okay? Look how Annette was talking about Lady on the stand. I don't mess with her. Or her face all turned up. First of all, nobody don't have to know that. You could say my daughter, she's doing things I'm not fond of, but I would never get on the stand and say, I don't mess with her. When you talk like that, you're showing how you really feel about her children. So Annette, if she didn't care about Lady, how can she care about Nasiah and Vari? They were just a check, okay? Do you actually think Annette adopted Vari and Nasiah out of love and care? No, she didn't. She didn't. When I look at Annette, right, I see nothing but foulness. You know what I'm saying? She gives off a wicked vibe. Her and those twins, they give off wickedness, like for real. And it's just sad. And I want to say, I didn't get a chance to say it yesterday because I was just tired and going through my own stuff. But Nasiah Harris, happy birthday. Happy 15th birthday. I wish you was here to celebrate your birthday. I wish you was still here so you could, celebrate every year and turn a different age. Because at 16, oh my goodness, girls, they change all the time. She was already beautiful. Could you imagine at the age of 16 and, going up as an adult? Beautiful girl. But she got stuck with the wrong family, man. Stuck with the wrong family. They care nothing about her. Nothing. And you know who else been on my mind? Shannon's oldest daughter. I think her name is Janiyah. She's been on my mind because I know she's going through something mentally. I know she is. I know she is. All you can do is just keep Shannon's other kids in prayer and keep Marquita's kids in prayer because they are children. They are innocent. And I know Marquita's son got some stuff with him. We just got to hope and pray he straighten up and turn out to be good. Okay? Okay. So, as far as Jarvis, the calendar conference was on the 16th, right? So that meeting was held. Parties present. Now, I got this straight from the website. All right. Parties present: defendant Jarvis Butts and his attorney. State of Michigan, Tina Ripley. She's an attorney. 9/17 pretrial hearing. 9/17 order of production transcript. Now, I had to look up what that was. It's a legal court order that compels an organization or individual to hand over specific documents, records, or other materials. And under that is a name called Laura Kusiak. And it has the dates 7/7/25 and 7/28/25. Now, there's a new date here, February 23rd, 2026. So there's nothing happening in October. Okay. When I looked on the website, they didn't have an October date. They have February 23rd, 2026 pre-trial at 9 a.m. So the trial itself, this is what, February, I'll say April. About April, he'll have a trial. All right. Now, I was listening to Tootie Uncensored, right? Because a friend of mine told me she was listening to her. She was like, yeah, go over there and take a listen to some stuff she was talking about. So I did. And Tootie had, her event for Naziah. She had a balloon release, a visual. They walked Naziah's route. And baby, they was on the block. They was on the block. And I want to say they was probably in front of the house. I'm not too sure. But they was outside, right? And this is how you know the devil is busy. Because they wasn't bothering Annette. They didn't knock on her door. Some kids were, right? Some kids did that. That had nothing to do with Tootie and her crew. That had nothing to do with Roxy and Kenya because they wasn't even in Detroit, okay? And I do believe that when Tootie found out it was those kids, she told them to get away from them with all that stuff, as she should, But Annette and Shannon, starting stuff, saying that Roxy had people out there knocking on her door. Just a bunch of mess. Just a bunch of mess. That didn't need to be said and didn't need to be started because that wasn't true. Okay, so we're not going to shed any light on that. What they should have done was open their door and came outside and sung happy birthday along with everybody else and release a few balloons. But see, you have to care in order to do that. And they just don't care. Okay? They don't care. But what Tootie did was really nice. It was awesome. I mad props to her for that. She also said that this is not a competition. And I agree. Everybody can talk about this situation. Everybody can show love for Naziah in their way. If they want to do a balloon release, fine. But why get angry when somebody is doing that? That doesn't make any sense. The family should be happy that Naziah is loved by many. Now, Tootie did mention Kiwana. And I guess Kiwana said something about Tootie. But I don't understand why. What's the problem? If anything, it would have been cool if Kiwana and Tootie met up together and released their balloons together. That would have been cool. But all this extra stuff, it's It's too much. It's too much, you know? Okay, so Tildy said she had her team in the courtroom. They got 78 new witnesses, 300 more evidence to go through, and 336 hours of calls to listen to and go through as well. So, listen, I want them to take their time. I want them to go through everything and don't leave nothing out. Don't leave not in a crumb out. You know? Wow. 336 hours of calls. And I bet you we'll probably hear Shannon on the other end. Because everybody knows the calls are recorded. All right? And I'm pretty sure we're going to hear a few of his other women. Okay? 78 new witnesses and 300 more pieces of evidence they have to go through. My goodness. And let me tell you something. They better not mess up and not stream this. They better stream this trial. Okay? They was in the courtroom before. Get in there again. If you stream the hearing, I want you to stream the trial. And I think I called up to the court for nothing because I stressed my concern about Jarvis and that mask, and he still had the mask on in court. Now, what Tootie said was kind of funny. She said he's sitting up there with a fresh haircut, looking like Michael Ealy. Wait a minute now. Don't put Michael Ealy in this. Don't do too much of Michael Ealy there. I was cracking up. I said, Michael Ealy. Now, I will say this. If they had a movie about Jarvis, he could play Jarvis, but Terrence Howard got to do the voice. He sounds like a T-Will Terrence Howard, okay? So I wonder who got his haircut. The COs, the female COs, huh? Are they taking care of Jarvis in there? I wonder. See, when it's his time to go to prison, that's a different ball game. Okay. Roxy and Kenya, they wasn't at the balloon release. You know, I feel like Annette and Shannon tried to sabotage the balloon release or just sabotage what somebody had going on, because there was no need for them to try to blame something on somebody else. Ask questions. You know, somebody knocked on your door or kicked your door. Come out and say, hey, you know what? I know y'all doing a balloon release. I appreciate it. But somebody just kicked my door. And they would tell you it wasn't nobody from here. You know, don't go blaming people. Because Roxy's alive. I did watch some of it, okay? It was 2 hours, almost 3 hours. So I was like, listen, I got to watch this in pieces, okay? But I did watch a little bit of it. So, you know, that's basically the updates that I have. Now, when I did listen in on Roxy's live stream, she said some interesting things now. She said the kids are going to be up for adoption soon. She sure did. That's what she said. She said Shannon was in the CPS office cutting up and cussing folks out, calling them names, bees, and garden tools, and all types of stuff. Not showing up for visits. Why are you not showing up for visits? What else do you have to do that you can't show up for visits? Not bringing toys the kids ask for. And she still talks to Jarvis on the phone. Now, I'm not surprised about that. I really wish Michigan was one of those states that will let you, you know, get those phone calls, because I have tried to do it through FOIA. It was a no-go. It was a no-go. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I tried to get some information through FOIA and I couldn't. Maybe I'm thinking because he's going to go through trial, so the case is still, you know, twirling around in investigations and stuff. So maybe that's why. But yeah. Man, oh man, man, oh man. I just don't understand. I just don't understand what a grown man wants with a child. And it's right there in the house. Did you guys remember this movie that came out years ago? I think it was either late 70s or early 80s or mid 80s. Babysitter came to the house, was watching the children, and a call kept coming from inside the house, calling on the phone saying, "Have you checked the children? Have you checked the children?" That movie freaked me out. It freaked me out. So I feel like with everything that's going on, after we saw everything play out with Shannon and all these posts and videos and stuff, Shannon knew what was going on with Jarvis and Desire. When she went missing, she didn't care. Why? And I hate to say this, because even though Desire was a child, but Desire was competition for her. And I hate to say that, but that's how Shannon saw Desire. Okay? So, what had to happen? Okay. All right. You get what I'm saying. It sounds sick, but we talking about Shannon and Jarvis here, and Annette. And we all know that Annette was a hot mess when she was little, when she was younger. And Janelle said that. Even her own father couldn't do nothing with her because she was just out there. She was promiscuous. She was out there. She was always doing something. And she had all these children. And every last one of her children, something's wrong with them. Something is wrong with them. As far as Jermaine, the one that's supposed to be a cop or a correction officer or whatever he is with the law, he might be okay. All right. He might have a sprinkle of something. I don't know. But he might be okay because, you know, he did something with his life. But the oldest on down, And the oldest, his last name is Gamble. So who is his father? Either Annette married a Gamble from Ohio, or she was messing with a man and gave her son that man's last name. Don't worry, I'll crack the code one of these days. But that family has some mess with them. And Annette's children would never turn their back on their mother. Never. They'll probably fight amongst each other. But as for outsiders, oh no. They're not going to let any outsiders come through and look down on Miss Annette, Queen Annette, Queen B. They're not going to do that. I wish things were different for Desire. I really do. I wish things were different. But here we are. Here we are. But anyway, thanks for listening. And I will talk to you guys later. Let me know what's on your mind. Talk to me in the comment section. If you heard anything and you want me to know about it, talk to me in the comment section. All right? And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.